Okay, this is the help program for those of you who just have no idea how to get started on your project. You have no idea where to even begin after you've gotten in the basic stuff. If you watch the graphic art project starter, then you've gone to program and you've put in these initial items. Okay, so I've done that. That's set my window. That's cleared everything out. Um, and I'm going to do this cold turkey. I'm just going to kind of go through and model some of the thinking that I would go through when I'm trying to make a picture or make a shape. When I first did this, it took me a couple hours, but of course I was kind of experienced in what I wanted to do as far as I know how the functions look. So I had first imagined, some type of car, and I thought, okay, how could I make a simple type car? And so I was thinking of doing something like this. I had, wanted to do the circles for the wheels, and I was going to use the circle function for that. I was going to use the semicircle for this part. I think when I did this the first time, I ended up using 2 semicircles, so I kind of had a window. I think I put in this mat, so I had some doors and a door handle, and I had my 2 circles. Okay, and when I first started making this, I wanted to do it symmetrical and have the part like that, but then I thought, well, that's going to be, well, that would give me a same function as what's over here, but just a reflection, so it really wouldn't be as many points as if I did it different. So I ended up doing a car so it could have a fin on it. I think then I even had a little tailpipe, and I used the sine function to have some stuff coming out here. So this was kind of what I had done for my car, and then you kind of put some little details in there. So I'm going to kind of go through some of the thought process. Maybe this will help you get some of those items into your picture. Alright, so after I have all of the beginning stuff done, I think when I first started I did the semicircle part first. And so if you look on the front of your packet or in that front section, there's instructions on how to do a semicircle function. You want to do a function, so you're going to be using draw F, so I did second program, number 6. See, number 6 is this draw F. So I'm going to do draw F, and I'm trying to do semicircle. So I did second square root. I'm going to do the radius squared. I think I did 16 minus x squared. Close them. Now, if you wanted to shift this left and right, then you would change this x squared area. You would change this x squared. You would put parentheses around that and like do x minus 3. That would shift it left or right 3. Okay. And if I wanted to then shift it up, I'd go plus a number, and that would shift it up. So if you wanted to lift that semicircle up, which I actually might want to do that. I'm going to see where it shows up. But if you wanted to lift it up, then you'd put plus whatever. Okay, well, let me just see where this semicircle is. I'm going to second quit, and then I press program. I want to execute my car program. So I hit enter, and there's my semicircle. I don't really like that. I want it to be taller. So I think that means I need a higher radius. So I'm going to quit, go back to program, and edit my program. I'm going to go over to edit, go down there. So I'm going to see if I can put in 25. That might be too much. I'm going to see it again. And that's okay. That's okay. Let me try one more. See if I can make it a little bit bigger. Let's do like 49. That should be pretty big. There we go. Okay, that's better. Okay, so it's not going to be as completely curvy as I wanted it to be, but that'll work. Okay, so next I'm going to try and do this little front piece. Or maybe I want to do my wheels. Yeah, let's do those wheels. That'll be easy. We can do that. Okay, so when I go to edit my program, I'm actually going to put in plain circles, a full circle. You can do a semicircle and then do its reflection, and sometimes you might have to connect it with lines. But I'm going to use the draw feature. So I'm going to hit second and then this program button and look down at number 9. See, that's a circle. And so I want to draw this circle over here. I want to draw that front tire circle. And I want to draw that front tire circle. I'm going to put the points of the center. The first 2 numbers are going to be the points of the center. So I'm going to try like -10, comma, -10. Okay, let's see where that puts it. And then then the next number is the radius of the circle. So let's see if it has a radius 5. Close that, and let's see what that does. Okay, so that's a big old tire compared to what I wanted. I should make that a smaller radius. But I actually like where that ended up being located. So let me kind of clue you in also that if you touch the arrows now, see if I touch these arrows, it brings up that little trace, and I can tell where things are. So I can see that this was located at -10, -10. So I like where that center is. And the radius goes up to -5. I don't like it. Maybe I wanted it to just go up to about there. So that made it a radius of about 3. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to edit my program. And I want that radius to, instead of be 5, I want it to be 3. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, I like that much better. Okay, I can handle that. I still don't like this curve here, this semicircle curve. I'm not going to do that later. But I want another circle inside it, so I'm going to add another circle. So that was that second draw. Down to number 9. There's my circle. I want it to be centered at -10, comma, -10. There's the center of my circle, comma, and I want the radius to be even less. So let's see what a radius of 2 would look like. Here we go. Okay, I like that. So then I'm going to move another tire, and I want it to be over here. And since this is kind of ending up being symmetrical, it's probably going to be over at 10, -10. And so I'm going to do that same thing over there. Okay, let's talk about another function though. I'm not going to end up completely finishing this far. But let's talk about another. I want this little curve thing here. Well, to me, that type of curve is a square root function. And that's this thing right here. This curve here stems from y equals the square root of x. Okay? But think about it. Y equals the square root of x is going to be right here. Well, I need this thing over. So I need to shift it over. I probably need to shift it down so it can meet up with my wheel. Okay? So I'm going to have to fiddle with that and move it over. And so I'm going to have to be doing an h value, a plus, and I might try 15 and then down 10. That would kind of get it starting going down to about right there. So let's just see what that comes up. Now let me show you another technique that you could do. sometimes I go to this y equals, and if I want to try out something to see if it kind of can get it where I want it, I put it in there. I'm going to go second square root of x plus 15, close the square root, minus 10. And I'm going to hit graph. Well, look at that. That actually isn't too bad, but I can see it's too flat for me. I want to make it a lot taller. How am I going to make it a lot taller? Well, that's going to be an A value. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to insert, second insert, in an A value. And I have no clue. I'm going to try an A value of 5. And we'll hit graph and see what that does. Now see, the other part of my program didn't redraw itself. So let me go execute my program, and it'll put that other function still on, lay it on top of it. And here's my other part of my car. Okay, now I guess that's a little too high because it's not meeting up where I want it to. So I'm going to go to y equals and try maybe just 3 for my A value. Let's see what that does. Okay, still not my favorite. But maybe what I want to do is move it up so it connects. See, I'm going to move it up so it'll connect right here, and then maybe I'll end up putting a line down here in front. Okay, so let me try that. Let me try going ahead and scooting it up. I guess it went down too much. So let's put minus 7, and let's see what that ends up. So put that program back in there. You got to execute that program, lay that on top of it. Ooh, that's close. Okay, I like that. So here's what I've got my equation. I like that. I may just like draw a line down here in front. Okay, but that's a square root doing what I want to. Now, I'm going to have to put it into my program, and I'm going to have to change its domain. And so here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to use these little, I'm pushing the arrow keys, and I'm going to see, okay, I need it to, it's going to go from, you know, this negative 15 is what it's doing. And where is it that I want it to go to? What's the x value that it's going to go to? Right there at about negative 6.5. So I want it to stop there at negative 6.5, so all of this other part over here does not show. So, let me see what my equation was. I'm going to write that down. My equation was y equals 3 square roots of x, and lost it, x plus 15 minus 7. And then I wanted it from x's are greater than negative 14 or negative 15, and I want x's are less than negative 6.5. That's what I want. So let's go put that into our program. Okay, I'm gonna clear this guy out here, or else he'll start showing up on the program. He'll start showing up. Let's edit. Let's put this guy in here. Okay. So it's a function, so I'm going to do a second program, number 6, 3, square root, x plus 15 minus 7. And here's how you do the domain. Divided by, open the parentheses, and then I'm going to put these two sets of parentheses in. Parenthesis, x, I want the greater than, that's under second math. And I want number 3 greater than, or I think actually I probably want to do greater than or equal to, because I want it to include that. But you can play around with that. 14, or greater than or equal to negative 15. Close it, open up, and then I want x's that were, second math, less than or equal to negative 6.5. Close it. Close the total thing. Enter. Okay, let's quit and see how this looks. There's my semicircle, then it's going to be the wheel. Second inside of the wheel. There it is. That is pretty close. I might mess around with some of that stuff there to get that a little bit better. But that's going in the direction that I want it to. So now I'm going to try the other part over here where I want to do this exponential function. Okay, so let's try how I'm going to do that exponential function. I'm going to try one, and I'm just making this up. I'm going to try one, 3 to the power of x. I know I want it to go to the right. It's needing to go to the right. So I think I go in parentheses here, x minus 10. Let's just try that. Do I need to move it up? I don't think so. I think it's going to load. I think it'll have an asymptote there where I want it. Well, I'm going to put it into y equals first to kind of try it out. It's a lot faster for me to be able to do that. So 3 to the, in parentheses, x minus 10. Okay, hit graph. And now see, that's the front part of that thing. And there it goes. Alright, and that is too steep. So how can I make it less steep? I mean, I don't want it going up this fast right here. This is too funny. I want it to scoot over, or maybe I want it to do that. I just need it over further. Yeah, I think I'll keep it that steep. That's my little fin of my car, but I want it shifted over some. So I need to change this minus 10 to, say, minus 15. Which makes sense because my other one was shifted over 15. So this one being symmetrical, go over 15. So let's see what that looks like. Now that might work. I'm going to put the car, other parts of the car in there. Okay, I like it. What doesn't work for me is that I need to scoot it up. See this asymptote? It's got to be shifted up so it connects with my semicircle. How do I get it to shift up? That would be a k value. So I'm going to add 3. Let's add 3. See what that does. Actually, you know what? I could have figured out where I need to add it up to. Yeah, I'll show you here in a second. I could have done that smarter. See, look, I could have just hit the arrows and see where I want that asymptote to be, and that is at 2.5. See this y value here, 2.5? So I should have made it up 2.5. Okay, so I am liking that. I'm gonna now put that in my program. Now, where am I gonna want this domain to go from? Let me put my let me just start hitting my arrows. Then I can go over here and I can see, okay, that is at 6.5. I want my domain to be greater than or equal to 6.5. And I think that's really all I care about. I don't have to put the other bounds in there. No, yeah, I do, because otherwise this fin looks really funny going up. So let's see, where do I want that fin to end? Probably right here. So I want it to be less than or equal to, maybe even a little lower, less than or equal to less than or equal to to probably 16 and a half, somewhere around there, 16 and a half. Okay, so let's go put this in my program. Edit. I go down. Okay. Second program, number 6. I'm going to put in my function, which ended up being 3 to the x minus 15 plus 2.5. Okay, now divide by, and now limit the domain. I want in my domain 2 parentheses there. I want x's that were greater than 6.5, greater than or equal to. So go second math. This number 4, 6.5. Close it. And I want x's that are less than or equal to, so that's number 6, 16.5. Close it, 2 closed, enter, and let's try it. Enter, enter. Ah, I still have that in my y equals. I gotta go take that out of the y equals, so that's not gonna do anything for me. Okay, here it goes. I still wish that was steeper. How could I make that? See, because I'm afraid if I make it steeper, it would be bigger and it would be messed up in other places. Look at there. I like it. Okay, so now I'm going to put a straight line down. Let me get a straight line down here. And I need this to go down further. So here's how you do a line. First, let me figure out where I want this line. Okay, so I'm hitting the arrow buttons to get over there so I can kind of see where I want this line to end up. Okay, I want this line to go from, I think it's negative 15. It's not really showing me on the pixel because of the pixels, but I'm thinking maybe it's negative 15. Okay, so I'm going to have it go straight down. I want it to go to about right there. So negative 15, negative 9.5. Let me make myself a note. Negative 15, negative 9.5. And then I want it to go up to, so that's one endpoint. Then I want it to go up to negative 15, negative 5. Negative 15, negative 5. Okay, so let me show you how to put that line in there. And you're going to actually, this gives you no points, but you'll probably use these lines to kind of complete your picture if you have little spaces that you have to fill in. So program, edit, go down here, and here's where you get the line. Under second program, look at the second one, number 2. Okay, and you just use these numbers, see here? These first 2 numbers are the first endpoint, and these second 2 numbers are the second endpoint, and you don't use excess parentheses, you just separate it by all commas. So negative 15, comma, negative 9.5 was the first endpoint, comma, negative 15, comma, negative 5 was the second endpoint. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, it's not my favorite card, but you know, I'm just messing around with it, and you can play around with some other things. Let me get another line over here. Let me figure out how I can get my other line here. Okay, so I want this to go from probably 16.6 down to, or maybe it was 7 to be, yeah, I bet it's 16 and a half. 6 down to 16.5, negative 9.5. That would make it go down to the same amount as that other one. So I'm going to go in there to my program, enter that line in, and then I'm going to have most of my card except for that other set of circles. So second program, number 2, and that was at 16.5, comma 6 to 16.5, comma negative, oops, make sure you use the negative sign, not the minus, 9.5, close it out. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that does it. It's not my favorite, but you know, it's a start, it's something, it's a picture. And let's go ahead and put that other wheel in right here. I'll also put in a line across here. Let me see where that line is that I want to do. And then I'll do that sine function of the exhaust, and I'll pretty much be done. I could put some other things in there to finish that up. So negative 6.5, negative 9.5 over to probably positive 6.5. Because, yeah, there's where it's going to go. Okay, so let me put my other wheel. I bet I can put my wheel and line in at the same time. So here I go. Let me put that circle in first. That's 2 circles. Second program, number 9 was the circle. Enter. And let's see. Where did my other circle go? Well, it's just going to be symmetrical. So negative 10, negative 10. Okay, so this one's probably going to go 10, 10, comma, negative 10, comma, and I think it had a radius of 3. Then I did another circle that had the radius of 2. I think I actually want to make it a radius of 1.5. Let me try that. See if I like that better, and then I can go change that other one. Let's try 1.5. Okay. I want to put in that line in between the wheels. That was going to go from negative 6.5, comma, negative 9.5 to 6.5, comma, negative 9.5. Okay, put in 3 things. Let's see if it works. That exponential function takes a long time to calculate, so it's always slow. Ooh, I like that. I like that radius of 1.5 better. That's getting pretty good. I'm probably going to want to put in, you know, another little line here and another little line here. I mean, so there's some things I could tidy up. I could put this in. Let me go ahead and show you that exhaust, and then that's good enough. You can then finish those things. That's 30 minutes of modeling through how to make a basic picture, some of the things you try to go through to make a picture. The last thing I want to do is this little sine function. Now, I gave you your packet, and you know what I did? I kind of looked at some of the other functions that the other people did on their pictures to figure some things out. Especially since I'm not really very familiar, even as a teacher, with the sine stuff and how that works. So, what if I tried, because I can remember when I did this the first time, I had to mess around with it a lot. Let's just put sine, I think it was like, actually put a number in front here, like 3 sine x. I want to shift it down. 10, because those kind of look like they're going down. I mean, like down where the wheels are, down at the bottom of that car. Now see, this sine function goes, it's continuous, and so you're going to have to limit its domain. And that's like too high. It's not really even close to what I want to do. So I'm going to have to figure out how to make it smaller and squigglier. So I'm going to have to play with some of the numbers within it. And then after I do that, I'm going to want to come and limit the domain of it, just like I did some of that in the past. So, okay, I've kind of figured out some things. I've played around with my sign function, my what equals. I've figured out where I want that to be, and here is what I'm going to do. I need to put in a function. So second, number 6, I wanted 0.5 sine, parentheses, 3x, move down 10. Now, I wanted it from x's that are greater than or equal to 16.5 to x's that are less than or equal to 22. Okay, so let's see what that does. Oh, I need to take out that y equals. Okay, so got that sign, I got that exhaust down there. Now look, it is not completely finished, but in 30 minutes I have gotten a basic sketch of a picture. I would go in there and tweak some things. I don't like the front of the car. I've got some other lines I need to draw in there. Let me go ahead and tell you, as this is, grade-wise, of course I get 70 points for there being a picture. And then let's go look at the functions that you have in there. You get 5 points for each function. So there's 5. So that's 10 because that's a different type of function. I have a semicircle function. I have a square root function. That's 5, 10. I have an exponent function. That's 15. 5, 10, 15. I have a sine function, 20. So right now, this is sitting at a 90, and I don't even have some of the other duplicate functions that would give me 2 points here and there, and that kind of thing. So in 30 minutes, I used some skills. I was able to get a picture, and not as good as I wanted, but in 30 minutes, I've got a 90. Now, it's going to take you longer than that, because you got a lot to play with, and you're probably going to do a better, more interesting picture than my little old car, but this is doable. You just need to get in there and dig around and start working on the project. Okay, so there's your car. If you have any, just get started on a picture.